Hey guys, Heather Baker here, publisher for Vowell, and which includes AY Publication and Arkansas Hospital Association. We do AMP, we do Northeast Arkansas Hospital Association Guide, and the Mental Health Guide. And I was asked today by Chris with iSocialMentor to come in here and talk about work ethic with kids and encouraging the youngsters and millennials of this age to get into the workforce. And I submitted some questions, and so I'm going to go through those. I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. I've always been a salesperson since I was young. I started selling fireworks when I was 7 years old with my dad, and I actually had my own fireworks stand on Geyer Springs and Asher, and have grown up in that industry. And going through school, I was always in sales, and then in college, I actually got my first job in radio, and that quickly evolved into newsprint, and I worked at the Northwest Arkansas Times and started in the car industry. Started selling car dealers, and I became the official, what you would say, car gal of automotive, and up in Northwest Arkansas, and just really developed that. And from that, I was recruited from the Arkansas Times to start a publication called Arkansas AutoBuyer. And being said, with the experience that I had, which is one of the questions that I have in here, is how did I get started so young at this? But basically, at 22, I became publisher of a publication called Arkansas AutoBuyer, which is pure automotive. It focused on Central Arkansas, and it included all the car dealers in the market, and really just honed into that. I've had a love of cars since I was a little girl. My dad was all about the American muscle car, the Vet, and I loved cars, and I still do. We have a Jeep club currently, and we go out and do Jeep adventures all the time, and I definitely love me some sports cars too, but we have a big fascination with Jeeps in our family. Getting into that, being a publisher of AutoBuyer, expanded some new doors, and I decided to create a publication called Arkansas Wild, which is a hunting and fishing guide for the state of Arkansas. And then from that, I created Savvy Kids, which is still in this market today, and then helped with special pubs for the Arkansas Times, and worked there for about 15 years. Branched off from there and created a publication called Drive Arkansas, which was the same kind of an alliance with Arkansas AutoBuyer. And from there, I started doing media and marketing in the digital world and helping companies just create marketing plans for themselves. And through that venture, I was, had been introduced to Vowell, which owns Vowell, and she had been looking at me for quite a long time, and I decided to talk to her. And about 6 months ago, I accepted the position as publisher at Vowell, which includes our main publication, which is AY. And this is the current issue right now. But so I'm going to leap into these questions that I've got. It says, growing up, did you always want to be a publisher? I actually wanted to be a news anchor growing up as a kid, and but I've always been in sales, and I learned very fast that the things that I wanted, salespeople, if you were very good at what you did very well. And so I kind of just grew from the sales aspect, which grew me into a publisher. And a publisher is got a lot of responsibility, because you have an editorial staff that you're over, you have a production team that you're over, you have a sales team that you're over. You're kind of responsible for the overhaul of the entire publication. People ask me all the time. In fact, I got a question, did you always want to be a writer? No, I did not always want to be a writer. I'm very good at marketing and concepts, but writing is not my first concern. By all means, that's the editor's title. So I didn't always grow up wanting to be a publisher, but I actually love it. It's my passion. It's not even like working sometimes, because I love it so much. I love coming up with concepts and ideas for companies as a whole, just developing their ideas and taking them to a whole new level. It says, do you ever get worried about publishing a story? That's a great question. Actually, right now, there's a big story on Evie Stebach, which is a young teenager in this market that has been missing for a couple years, and we are doing an incredible story on her in AY coming up this next month, and it's going to be a 3-part series. And with that, there's just huge concern for the family. And so yes, I do, because I want to make sure everything's correct, everything is polished, we have all the correct information, and that feelings are taken into consideration. So yes, by all means, I get worried, and I always get worried about making mistakes. No one ever wants to make mistakes. What is the story behind your first publication being about cars, and what is your dream car? Like I said, I've always been around cars my whole life. My dad used to go test drive sports cars a lot, and we would end up buying one because I would talk him into it. So I've loved cars forever and ever and ever. I would say my favorite car is actually a Ferrari Modena, which is you know, a supercar. So I would definitely say that Ferraris are one of my favorite sports cars, or dream car, and a supercar. Would you say it's easier or harder for a person to become a publisher? I would say it requires a lot of work ethic and a lot of dedication and passion for what you do. I think that anybody can become anything that they put their mind to. I think everything is controlled by mindset, and I think that if you believe in something and you have a positive attitude and you really work at something, I think that anybody can achieve anything. So if you want to become a publisher, you know, set your mind to it, strive, and just do it. That's the thing, is you can't want it. You have to make action and do it. You have to do the work that takes to get the work done. If I wanted to get the best experience to potentially become a publisher, what would you suggest a senior in high school do? I definitely would suggest you getting on your yearbook staff or your newspaper, anything that you can do. Get an internship at a newspaper and get that behind your belt. You need to know about print, and you need to know about digital, because that's very important this age, because you have to have both components to run a company and for it to be successful, because you have to tie those two things together. There's breaking news, and then there's stories that are established and printed in the book, and so you have to have both of those concepts to be successful. If you could be the publisher for anyone, who would it be and why? I think that would maybe have to be Car and Driver. With my passion for cars, I think that I would love that. I would love the experiences that come with that, and on the digital aspect, that they do so much of the test driving of cars and getting to see supercars and things that are released before anybody else. So I think that would have to be the answer for that one. My parents say everything will be digital within 5 to 10 years. What does that mean for this industry? I definitely disagree with that. If you go to Barnes & Noble or you go anywhere to look at magazines, do you see a declining surplus of magazines? No. It's just how you look at it. I think that especially with AY, you're getting in depth with people. This isn't hardcore news. This is digging in and doing photography and real stories and experiencing the state of Arkansas. So I think there's a huge cry for that, and people want that. And also with the photography being so incredible, I think it's something that people keep and for a long longevity of time, and that is a great thing to have. And also, I think, I've said this several times on this, but I do think that digital is important. I think that that's good for current things, social media, having an on-staff blogger to continue stories that are in print online. But sometimes people just want to get off all the rubbish of all the craziness in the news, and they want to read a real story. And I think that's what print brings to the table, especially with the publications that we do here at the office. Does Vowell Inc. do summer internships for high school students? Absolutely. If you are looking to do an internship, feel free to send me your information at hbaker@aymag.com. I think that that's incredible. I think that we could put you to definitely for work on an internship. Call me and I'll look you up on that. Always. This is, what are your thoughts on tabloids? I don't know that I read tabloids. I don't have that much spare time on my hands, but it's just like the reality shows on TV. Everybody wants to know people's business, and it is what it is. If you just know it's fake news, it's not real. It's a lie. It's entertainment. So just know that it's not real. And I mean, I don't think that I have an opinion either way on that, but how do business handlers, writers with degrees versus writers without degrees? Is it strictly a piece of paper or an experience? Writers, I think you have to have definitely an education on an editorial standpoint. I think that you have to, obviously, there's a difference between writing and there's a difference between a copywriter and obviously an editor. So there's 3 different standpoints on that, but I definitely think that education is key on an editor standpoint. As in sales side and, you know, getting that done, I think either you're a salesperson or you're not. It's not a skill that necessarily can be taught. It's believing in yourself and being able to deliver and actually being able to be told no over and over and over and being able to overcome objections. So that right there, I mean, education is key on everything. But, you know, as, you know, to get into the sales side of media, I think that anybody that believes in themselves and will work hard enough can accomplish that. So that's hindsight 2020 right there. But thank you all for joining us. And I really want to encourage anybody that wants to do anything, just do it. Just set your mind to it. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what happens, tomorrow is a new day and you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, if you want to apply for an internship, hbaker@aymag.com. Thanks so much and have a great one.